Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm your Aussie teacher G.
And today I'm going to show you my Andalusian adventure. So, I was actually so excited I woke up before my alarm. I left my house at 6:30 a.m. and arrived at Atocha station around 6:50 a.m. It's a big station, but it's very clearly marked, and I've taken a lot of trains from this station, so I made my way through pretty quickly and grabbed a takeaway coffee. I got on my train and we left at 7:20 a.m. It was a long trip overall, but it was nice to look out the window. Since the horrible train line accident in February, there have been a lot of disruptions to this line, so we had to get off the train at Antequera Santa Ana and transfer to a bus for the last 50 kilometers. But I arrived safe and sound, and it was pretty scenic. Once I got to Malaga, I found my friend's apartment, dropped my suitcase, and packed my stuff for the beach. We spent the afternoon relaxing there, and I forgot to take photos and videos until we were walking back to the train station. The next day, I embarked on a day trip that I have had on my Spain bucket list for years. Ronda and Setenil de las Bodegas. We booked a trip with Get Your Guide because it was really reasonably priced and the most efficient way to do what we wanted to do. Ronda and Setenil might be just a short drive apart, but they feel like two completely different worlds. One built into the rock, and the other perched dramatically on top of it. Both are part of Andalucia's famous white villages, traditionally painted predominantly white to reflect the intense sun and keep homes cool in the summer heat. The first stop was Setenil de las Bodegas. It takes about 1.5 hours to get there via bus from Malaga. We came in on a big bus that can't go into the town centre because it's tiny, so we took a little train that was included in our ticket. In Setenil, many homes aren't built on the land, they're carved directly into the massive rock overhangs that have sheltered people for centuries. Its name in Latin means 7 times nothing, which refers to the 7 failed attempts to conquer it before it eventually fell to Christian forces. We walked around the town for about an hour. There were heaps of little corners with cute messages. Eventually, we sat down for a coffee in the iconic Cuevas de la Sombra street, where the rock is the main roof of several buildings. This is what the inside of the bar looked like. Next, we got back on the bus and in 30 minutes we arrived in Ronda. Ronda sits dramatically above a deep gorge, split in two by El Tajo Cañón and connected by the iconic Puente Nuevo, built in the 1700s. With over 2,000 years of history, the town has been shaped by Roman, Muslim and Christian influences over time, which gives it that layered historic feel. It is one of the oldest towns of the region Andalucia. First we walked to the famous bullfighting ring. Next, we walked to the Mirador Paseo Blas Infante. Then we made our way to the Puente Nuevo, the new bridge, and took in the views of the canyon. We walked along the path from the new bridge to the old bridge. We went back up to the top to Restaurante Don Miguel to have a drink next to the iconic bridge. Finally, on our way back to the bus, we stopped at La Alameda del Tajo Lookout. After a long day of exploring, we went back to Malaga to rest. The next day, I caught up with a friend for lunch, and then we went to La Malagueta to relax. The water was freezing, but it's simply un-Australian not to go in the ocean when given the chance. Soon after, we climbed the hill toward Castillo de Gibralfaro. We saw the bullfighting ring from above. Our group sat on the hill and watched the sunset looking down from the castle. The following day, we went to the beach again. I miss the beach so much living in Madrid, and it was so nice to get in multiple beach days on this trip. The water was a cold shock once again. We realised later that the Picasso Museum is free on Sundays after 5 p.m, so we headed there to get in line. We got in and took a look around the gallery. The only downside was that, because it's the free hour, it was full of people, but it was still really interesting. That afternoon, the processions for Holy Week started. In Spain, Semana Santa is a big deal and they have parades for many days. I'm not gonna lie, as a foreigner, seeing this for the first time back in 2022 was pretty shocking. It looks like something completely different, right? But it actually dates back hundreds of years prior to that sinister organization and has nothing to do with it. It's a Spanish religious tradition about repentance and anonymity, and it's really important for a lot of Spaniards. On my last day, we headed to a different beach, Los Álamos. We caught the C1 train there, which is the same train that can take you to a variety of beaches. We relaxed there for quite a while. We went for a dip together and the only way in was running. So this was the last thing I did in Malaga before packing up and heading back to Madrid. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. This was not my first time in Malaga and I did spend a lot of time at the beach and doing stuff with friends, so I didn't focus as much on cultural stuff this time. You can go up the coast and try the delicious seafood. Of course, you can also see Picasso's house as well as the Picasso Museum, and you can go to the Malaga Museum. I also recommend the Alcazaba and the Roman Theatre. These last few pictures and videos are from the last time that I was here. I recommend researching the free entrance hours for each one. To my knowledge, it's usually on Sundays. You'd be surprised how much you can save. I'll leave a list of recommendations in the description below, but until next time, happy traveling and don't forget to subscribe.